Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of Eve Talk, and with the patch notes of Inferno 1.2, I am pretty curious to see what kind of an effect this will have had on the market, specifically on the mining ships. So let's head over to our couch and have a look at what the market has been doing over the last week. To be honest, it's summertime, so I am expecting stuff like minerals to be pretty flat. The Tech 3 market, I think the downtrend might continue. That's my expectation. My reasoning for this is that because it's summertime, a lot of people won't really be investing in new Tengus or new Tech 3 ships, so supply might just be well above demand at the moment. So let's start out with some titanium. Let's have a look at that chart. Well, last week we had a pretty flat green line with some data points below. What would that be? 685, something like that. And right now the green line went down a little bit, but we can already see data points back up again. So yeah, it's pretty normal variations in the minerals, or at least in titanium so far. Let's have a look. 7 ISK for the sellers, 691 for the buyers. That's pretty flat. Pyrite. Let's have a look at that chart. Pretty much the same thing. Decently flat with data points up and down a little bit. So people are buying and selling it, and this is forming the price at any one moment. 1265 for the sellers, 1291 for the buyers. So that looks pretty flat. Let's see if it can be confirmed in Mexalon. Price history, yeah, pretty much the same, maybe slightly down on this one. Mexalon has gone up pretty substantially from 50 to above 60 in what is it, a 6-month chart. Let's have a look at a 3-month chart. From just above 50 to above 60, that's a pretty big rise, so it's normal that might pull back just a little bit. In system, sellers 58 and buyers 57.77. Absolutely no margin. Looks like a normal price based on supply and demand to me. Let's have a quick look then at the Tengu to get a feel of Tech 3 market. And looks like the downtrend is continuing a little bit. Price well below 220 million for a Tengu on the graph. Let's have a look at station sellers 210, station buyers 201. So 10 million margin, not 9 million margin. Not that bad, but there might be some trading opportunities in the Tech 3 market. I have seen though that 0-0 warfare, there might be war a bit up north, and so we might see some Tech 3 ships go down, and this might have an influence, but so far this downtrend seems to confirm itself. I might expect this to stop once more people get back into EVE Online after the summer. And then Hulk, let's have a look at that graph. That's a bit down from 280. Yeah, that's probably gonna be around heading towards 270. Let's have a look at the sellers. 267 million and a half. Yeah, there's definitely the Hulk is going down in price. I guess that's pretty good news for people that want to get into the Hulk. If I'm not mistaken though, this might this downtrend might be stopped by the fact that the Hulk will be easier to fly. So a lot of people might find themselves able to fly the Hulk all of a sudden after the patch, and thus this might increase demand. However, I think the most important factor is going to be the fact that the Hulk will no longer be the best solo mining ship. That's going to be the Mackinac. So that's why I think that the Mackinac is going to get an uptick. Yep, there we go. Above 180 and data points above 200 million ISK. I'd say there's definitely an uptick in the Mackinac. Sellers 205 million ISK, and buyers, well, they've gone up, haven't they? 178, so 100, even 119 90 million, 14 buyers. That's somebody that is expecting the Mackinac to seriously go up in price there. And if I'm not mistaken, last week we had 111 million ISK for normal buy orders. So yeah, the Mackinac people are expecting the price of it to rise sharply, and I think they're right. I think the demand for Mackinacs is going to explode, as it will be basically the best to do any solo mining, which is still a pretty important activity in EVE Online in general. Maybe the retriever. I know someone in the alliance bought a retriever PPO, and that's also probably going to be the lower tier solo miner, so the uptrend here is also pretty obvious. 14 million for the sellers, 12.5 for the buyers. I think it went up from 8 million last week, so yeah, that's 50% increase in price, or even more than that in just 1 week. Absolutely, retrievers and Mackinacs, if you managed, like I had said in the previous video last week, to pick up a few cheap ones in further away systems, bring them over to a trade hub, you have potentially made quite a lot of ISK on such a trade. I want to check out a few of the other ones. Let's see if I can find a procurer. Procurer, where are you? There it is, and that's just with a single miner. That's also going up in price, as it will probably become far more popular than it is now. And yeah, so as we can see, the Hulk going down in price a little bit. People are expecting that one will lose its popularity as the best miner, and yeah, the Mackinac I think is going to be king after the patch. Let's have a look at the plex. This should be a nice indication for general activity in EVE Online. Holding pretty steadily above 480 million. The price is 488, 478 for the buyers. Pretty stable. We've seen it go down just a little bit but in the last 3 months, maybe a little down. Yeah, it's closer to 490, just above that at the start of these 3 months, and now it's just above 480. So I think this can indeed show the downtrend in general activity in EVE Online. It follows that a little bit, and on the 6-month chart though, you can see that last April it went up to above 500 million ISK, and let's have a 1-year chart going. There we go, big spike towards 500 million near the expansion of last year, and yeah, it started off pretty low though, 360 million, then a big spike up towards 500, a correction, then back up on the uptrend to go for 500 million ISK in April, then right here a small correction, but we know that there's inflation in EVE Online at the moment, so I think basically the bottom last year at, I would say, what would that be, 370 million, maybe something like that, has now become 480 million. And if CCP knows a successful expansion this winter, it is possible. I'm saying this with be very cautious with it, but we could indeed see once again like a very big uptrend coming after the summer in the plex, in my opinion. That's just my opinion. Do with it what you want. Personally, I'm going to invest in PvP ships and not in plex, but I think it's pretty interesting. It's going to be a nice indication of how successful the next expansion is going to be, in my opinion, and it's always a nice indication of general activity in EVE Online, which had dropped off pretty harshly last summer, and went then back up with a successful implementation of the winter expansion, and then has been holding up quite nicely so far. So yeah, I think the plex is a very important metric for the EVE Online economy and EVE Online game in general. Anyways, that's it for this EVE talk. I'll see you guys next time.